Hello and welcome to the Daily Royal. My name is Shelby and I have been a royal watcher for the past 10 years. In this podcast, I talk about the daily events of 7 of the European monarchies. So I talk about Belgium, the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. I upload Monday through Friday with occasional bonus episodes here and there. Today we are talking about all of the events from Wednesday, September 15th of 2021. It has been a bit of a slower day, it feels like, which is interesting given how, this day can be a huge day. There can be a lot going on, just September 15th in previous years. And it's just, can be a busy day, but today it was pretty calm. We just have, one event in each country, which is kind of interesting. Just given where we're at in the month, but you know what? It's totally fine. We'll go with it today. I'm recording later than I normally do because, it's just where we're at in life. Yesterday I was I didn't have a nap and I was so excited. And then today I had to have a nap because I wasn't going to make it. So I had a nap and the nap lasted too long. So here we are. Anyway, so we are going to jump right in with the Belgian royal family. Belgium. In Belgium today, King Felipe and Queen Mathilde visited one of the areas that was heavily affected by the flood in mid-July last year. So for those who don't remember, weren't listening to the podcast, or weren't paying attention to world news, in July, kind of in the middle, between the 15th and the 20th, there was a series of flooding happening due to rainfall in Belgium, the Netherlands, and Germany. Belgium and Germany were actually the countries that were hit the hardest. And so right ahead of their National Day on July 21st, Belgium on the 20th held a National Day of mourning because of how horribly bad these floods were. And so today they visited one of the areas that was very affected. What is now 2 months on, which is bizarre how quickly time moves. That feels like it just happened yesterday, those floods, it feels very recent, and it was 2 months ago. And so they took part in a meeting with various representatives to talk about the ongoing impact as well as measures to continue to support people through this struggle, because people lost homes and infrastructure is just kind of depleted. And so they spent the day talking about different things that have happened since then to improve quality and just try and go back to a place of normal, right? So that was the first stop. Then they also, they kind of walked along the street, one of the streets, probably the main street, to see the aftermath, the damages, as well as talk to people who were affected, and organizations such as the Red Cross, who were all part of this building back point that we are at now, where it's been 2 months, things are kind of starting to resume normal function. So that is what was happening there. And then, sorry, my brain just completely melted for a moment. So then their final stop of the day was to a primary school that had been flooded out. It was in horrible condition in July, and then Belgian schools start September 1st. So they had a month and a half to get it to a place that it was safe and fun and welcoming to children, and they did it. So they were able to spend time with some of the students, but they also were able to see the effects of just community coming together and where we're at now in terms of welcoming students back and into a really safe, happy, fun environment. So that was the day. It's hard when these tragedies happen, because of course, anyone who's been a part of the world, when a tragedy happens, we do move on. We move to a place of like, oh, yep, this is a thing that happened. It totally sucks. And so now we have to rebuild. And it was really interesting to see King Felipe and Queen Mathilde follow up on this tragedy in this way. Because of course we saw them like visit in the days following the massive flooding. But sometimes there's not always follow-up on things like this, and I like that there was in this instance. I think that's just really important and really awesome to see. So that is what was going on today in Belgium, and now we are going to go ahead and move over to the British royal family. The United Kingdom. In the UK today, you guys remember on Monday how I was like, hey, maybe we could just lay off the Duchess of Cambridge. Like, she'll probably return to work this week. I think it was the next day they had announced like what her engagement schedule would be for today. And then, of course, today she reappeared. Not that she had ever disappeared. She just was on summer vacation and has small children. And so took a summer vacation with her children because she is in a very privileged position to do so. So everyone just relax. This is my commentary on it. I was very annoyed on Monday with like all of these outlandish rumors about like why she hadn't returned to work yet, when I was like, I'm sure she will return this week. And did she? I'm just saying, like, she got it. So today she visited the Royal Air Force Base Brize Norton, and during this visit she was actually focused on the evacuation of civilians from Afghanistan. British citizens, Afghani citizens, and civilians that are now refugees, and the rapidness of that evacuation, because while warnings had been in place and it had been known that the Taliban was going to regain rule over Afghanistan just in general, like it was known, it felt like a slow moving freight train, and that everyone knew, but like no one was taking a lot of action rapidly, until one day it was like, oh gosh, get everyone out of here right now, which is a little too late. And so, luckily negotiations were able to exist to allow allied forces, NATO allies, etc., to be able to take part in a evacuation operation, which is, of course, very important in this situation. And so Kate was able to learn more about that, ask questions, and obviously, of course, continue to thank servicemen and women for their work, especially in this kind of evacuation situation where it's fast and frenzied and like, it's the military, so it's probably not chaotic, but like it felt very chaotic watching it happen in the outside world. So I thought that was really great. There are some really great photos of like she boarded, I guess, and a fighter, a cargo jet, a cargo plane. And those are obviously huge. And she is not. And so there's very funny pictures of, like, her standing on, like, the ramp up into the plane, and they're very funny because everybody standing around her is just very small in comparison to this giant, massive cargo plane. It's just really funny, and I appreciated it. But also, of course, the importance of the event and the work done by military service men and women is crucial, especially in a situation like this. So I thought that this was a really important event, and also a great one for her to return to, especially after all of the nonsense over the past couple of days. So that is what was going on in the UK. You guys, I wasn't going to do this because I said I wouldn't do the court circular anymore in September, and I won't. However, I'm recording really late, so I'm going to take a look at today's, because why not? Okay, well, this is why I've, like, kind of given up on the court circular, is the things that happened today I literally just talked about. So that is what was going on for the Duchess of Cambridge. The Duke of Cambridge has an event later this week where he will be announcing the finalists of the 2021 Earthshot Prize, which is going to be announced, I think, in October. But the finalists are being announced, and so it looks like he may have done that pre-recording today, just from, like, non-official photos I've seen, aka paparazzi photos. Because look, they exist. I know they exist. I don't ever talk about them. Typically, because of my algorithms in the world, I'm gonna see them. I don't seek them out. I still see them. Because other people don't respect privacy, which is, like, just a general thing. Like, can we just have a minute of a conversation about, like, these people are public, of course, but their personal lives, and they're, like, dropping their children off at school, or a royal child spending time with her grandmother, who isn't the royal in this situation, really shouldn't be public, ever. Because, like, they're private people, especially the children. Like, can we just have some boundaries, please, on respecting privacy of children and adults in general? Like, just saying, just a little throwing that out there kind of thing. So anyway, there's my little tangent for the day. In the what made Shelby a little frustrated in the royal world today. I just saw way too many paparazzi photos today, and it made me mad. Okay. So anyway, with that, we are going to go ahead now and move over to the Dutch royal family, as there were no events today in Denmark. But I think there's something scheduled for either tomorrow or Friday. I don't quite remember which. But for now, they had nothing, so we are going to move over to the Netherlands. The Netherlands. You guys, I just, like, recorded the entire Dutch royal family segment. Like, I was getting ready to move on, and I come back to it because sometimes I will go over and look at my outline on my computer. Not always, but right now that's what I'm doing. And somehow I must have stopped recording when I did that. So I got through the entire thing, and then I realized that none of it was recording. So there's that. So anyway, we're going to try again. So today, Queen Máxima was in charge of opening the new Culture and Administration House in Groningen, or Central Groningen. This is a facility that is going to house, or does house now, the town library, the town music school, a theater, so like where schools can have performances, the town cultural organizations can have performances, and then it also houses the town hall. So that's why like there's the administration building piece of it as well. And I just think spaces like this are really cool, really important, especially like ones that also house town official things, because it just really does become like a space for centralization, I guess. So like everyone's gonna go to this space at least once. Like it'll be a place where people have meetups and, you know, spend time. And I just think like that is really important. Like I love having like a town space. I love seeing places that have town spaces that are just cultural gathering places. I think that's just really awesome. So that is what was going on in the Netherlands today. I also said some other things in my last segment, but I really don't feel like repeating myself. So I guess that's just gonna live in my brain and nowhere else because I forgot to record it. Oddly though, in a year and a half or more at this point, that's the first time that has happened to me. You know, I always like worried that I was like gonna have something go completely missing. Nothing has ever gone completely missing. My editing skills used to be trash, so like things would get lost in editing, but now they don't do that, at least. I don't think. No, I know they don't. But it was very, very strange. So that was really unfortunate for me. But with that, we are going to move over now to Spain, as there was nothing going on in Norway today. There are some events scheduled for tomorrow, so we will talk about those. And then, of course, we'll discuss all of the Friday things in next week's intro episode. So with that, let's go ahead and move over to Spain. Spain. Spain was relatively boring today. Sorry, it just was. So this is becoming a new thing. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. Queen Letizia, it's her birthday, so she took the day off. I think she does if she can, because certainly, I mean, wouldn't we all love to take our birthdays off? I actually didn't take my birthday off, which is the first time I haven't done that in a long time, and I didn't mind it this year. I think because it was like, it's a new job, and I really love my job, my day job. I also love this job, but I did take it off of this, because it was in August, so it was strange. But it was kind of lovely to be able to just like go to work and have a normal day, and then just like come home and like relish in my own aging. No, like celebrate my own aging and like being really happy with where I'm at. And so I hope she was able to do that today. Like also, you know, hang out with her kid, her daughter, and who's in Spain, and like have a good FaceTime call with Leonore. Like that's what I hope. So anyway, that was it's always nice to have a day off. And so King Felipe did have a couple of events today, but they were audiences. So he met with 2 groups. He met with the management team of the Lares social group, and then also with the board of directors of the Interprofessional Union of the Community of Madrid. So the social group is obviously also like a politically affiliated but not political party, focusing on social issues. I don't know if it's pertaining specifically to labor, but typically when these audiences are held, they all kind of have like a theme of the day. So a couple days ago, King Felipe did one that was really focused on like Spanish financial organizations. And so today I would expect that the union meeting and the social group are very similarly aligned conversations, because in this situation, it's really easy to be able to combine types of meetings so you're prepared for everything happening at once, and it's just easier to prepare that way. I also really like the amount of audiences we're seeing again in the Spanish royal household, at least from King Felipe. We haven't seen any yet from Queen Letizia, at least in September. But this is a piece that, is very normal for the Spanish royal household. This is normal day-to-day work for them. And they just haven't really, of course, been happening because of the pandemic. And there's a lot of, this is returning. There's an event returning later this week that hasn't happened in two years, almost 2.5 at this point. And so, that's really exciting. Just, these kind of, return to normal things are really fun. So that was the day in Spain. Happy birthday to Queen Letizia. And next year, not to wish away the whole year, but next year is her 50th, and I am hoping for some excellent content. I'm just going to throw that out there, because Spain doesn't release new photos every year. They did a great documentary and stuff for King Felipe's 50th, and they did a similar thing for his 40th. And then Queen Letizia got some, awesome pictures done for her 40th. So, I'm really hoping that we just continue this tradition for milestone birthdays. Just throwing that out there in the world. You've got a year to plan. Casa Real. Okay? Great. So, that is what was going on today in Spain. So, now we are going to move over to Sweden. Sweden. In Sweden, it was actually another birthday, plus also an anniversary of reigning, I guess. I don't know. It's always a weird way to say this. But today was Prince Daniel's 48th birthday, and it was King Carl Gustaf's, I think it was his 48th anniversary as being king as well. Those two things happened on the same day, which I think is really funny. Of course, for Prince Daniel, he was not known to be a prince, he wasn't going to be a prince at the time. He was a newborn baby in Sweden. But I just love that that's, the same thing that happens on the same day. It's one of my favorite pieces of fun fact royal trivia that I just know in my life. Because, of course, I do. So, today, Prince Daniel also had the day off, and so King Carl Gustaf, Queen Sylvia, and Crown Princess Victoria took part in a meeting known as the Global Child Forum's Day. So this is a meeting between the Global Child Forum as well as their partner agencies and organizations that the Global Child Forum works with, to really discuss the ongoing challenges, goals, etc. for the coming year, as well as review the past year of work that has been done. So this is an annual event for the Swedish Royal Family. It's always a variant of royals who attend, and this year they kept it pretty simple. So Queen Sylvia is always in the mix. King Carl Gustaf is usually also in the mix, and then so is Victoria, and then everyone else kind of filters in and out. So that is what was going on there. They also did release, God bless Sweden, also did release a photo of Prince Daniel for his birthday, which I wish all royal households do this. A lot do. And the ones that don't make me sad every time. Every time. I just get sad because there's not a new photo. Every year. I don't expect there to be a new photo. But anyway, so that new photo was released today. You can check it out on the website, thedailyroyal.com, as well as on Instagram, which leads me to my perfectly segued outro, which is please check out my website and Instagram account, and also like and review this podcast wherever you are listening, as it really helps the podcast out. So with that, I am going to end today's episode, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a fantastic Thursday. Bye.